जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
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 यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna everybody. I'm not qualified to sit on this Vyasasana and then speak on a Bhagavad Gita. But by the mercy of the assembled devotee and the senior devotee, I got an opportunity to speak on this Bhagavad Gita. I need a blessing from all of you. I need a blessing from Srila Prabhupada. I need a blessing from all of our acharyas and all Guru Parampara and all of you. So then, right moment, the right word will actually come out from my mouth, and I will be able to glorify the Supreme Personality of this transcendental conversation is actually between Krishna and the Arjuna. I'm very fortunate enough that I have my Siksha Guru Mata Bhishmaka here to correct me, and all of you, please, anything if I will speak on this Bhagavad Gita, and if there is any defect, is all defects on my side. Then whatever I'm speaking, this is what I have basically heard from Srila Prabhupada, a lecture, and then all the previous acharyas and parampara, the senior devotees. So if there is any fault and if there is a shortcoming, that is in my end. So having said that, we will start with the evocation prayer. Nama Om Vishnu Pradaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prashashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyase Tato Jayam Mudire Shunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridayanartatoye Bhadrani Vidyunoti Shuhishatam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtakim Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are in a chapter 8, text number 8. Before we actually get into the text number 8, let's quickly review in past few shloka that what we have actually learned so far. So the title of this chapter is Attaining the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? The Attaining the Supreme. So last week the class was given by our Pitambara Prabhu. Wonderful class. And what Prabhu has mentioned, there was the 8th question was actually asked by Arjuna to Krishna. And then very last question, what is Arjuna has asked, it is how at the time of the death one can remember Krishna. And now first few shloka the Krishna is actually answering to that question. So let's read the translation of the shloka number 5. Ramesh Pandey Prabhu, you wanted to read the translation?
Yes.
Translation. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Okay. Now remember the keyword here, right? One who remember. right? And it is also saying Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. So when leaving the body, one who remember Krishna, remember the any form of a Krishna, will attain his nature. So I have one question. We have a wonderful devotee who has explained this shloka very well. Now, one quick question. So then our basically the foundation get clear. So whole life I'm living my life materially. I come across to know about this shloka that it just at the end of the when I'm leaving my body, if I'll just remember Krishna and I'll leave my body, I will attain his nature. And Krishna says no doubt. So after living my life 50-60 years fully materially, when I'm getting old, I take a gun and shoot myself, saying Krishna, will I attain Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yes or no?
No.
Why?
I think Krishna is very smart. He knows your bhava. What is your bhava? So he understands. So when you're actually shooting yourself, you are having a different bhava, not really remembering Krishna.
Right. But then do I get any credit, Prabhu? Like by just chanting Krishna name or no?
You might get credit, but you will not get mukti.
Correct. And that is what Krishna is actually explaining the next shloka. Right? So as Prabhu said, Prabhu's rightly said that you just think that I am a smart and I can just live my life the way I want it, and at the end I will just remember Krishna, but it is not that easy to remember Krishna. And also in the next sloka, Prabhu, just read the translation of this next sloka. The sloka number 6.
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Correct. So that is what you correctly said, right? So if your bhava is not there, meaning like your proper consciousness is not there, then you would not able to attain. But Krishna is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a very, very merciful. Like Krishna is another name of Krishna is what? Bhavagrahi Janardana. So imagine like a putana who smeared the poison in her breast and actually feeding that to Krishna, and Krishna gave her a liberation. So what to speak of somebody even unknowingly chanting this name, he will give the credit. And he gave that credit to Ajamila. Even though the Ajamila was very pious soul and then got fallen, he was belonged to the Brahmana family. But then when he was chanting the Narayana name, he was actually calling his son. He wasn't even calling the actual Narayana. But then Krishna still gave him opportunity to get liberated in the same birth. So Krishna is a Bhavagrahi Janardana. So the Krishna will give the credit. But it is all depends on what bhava you are actually calling. Right? Now let's go to the 7. Prabhu, read the translation of 7.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Nice. So in these 3 shloka, there was a very, very common word, remembering. Now, Arjuna's, what was the Arjuna's, the whole process of a Bhagavad Gita, the whole conversation is happening to convince basically Arjuna to fight. Now the Arjuna is thinking, just remembering Krishna, I can just meditate upon Krishna, just chant the name of Krishna, and I will fix my mind in Krishna, and that's why I don't need to fight. Then Krishna is a Paramatma, it's in heart. So Krishna exactly know what direction is actually Arjuna is thinking. So that is the way he directly said that, no. You, tasmat sarvesu kalesu mama anusmaran yuddhacha. So think about me and perform the yuddha. And when you do that, you are constantly thinking. And that is what is actually, but how one can remember Krishna. That is what Krishna is actually coming. And we see in the shloka 5 to shloka number 7, there is a one key word is constantly Krishna is talking about remembering. how one can remember Krishna, how one can practice remembering Krishna. That is what Krishna is actually answering into shloka number 8. So let's go to the shloka number 8 and we will read. Abhyasa yoga yuktena
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
chetasa nanya-gamini
चेतसानान्यगामिना
paramam purusham divyam
परसं पुरुषं दिव्यं
yanti parthanuchintayan
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
abhyasa yoga yuktena
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
chetasa nanya-gamina
चेतसानान्यगामिना
paramam purusham divyam
परसं पुरुषं दिव्यं
yanti parthanuchintayan.
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
Anybody would like to decide?
अभ्यासेन योगयुक्तेन
Abhyasa yoga yuktena
चेतसा नान्यगामिना
chetasa nanya-gamina
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
paramam purusham divyam
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
yanti parthanuchintayan.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
Abhyasa yoga yuktena
तसानान्यगामिना
chetasa nanya-gamina
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
paramam purusham divyam
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
चेतसानान्यगामिना
चेतसा नान्यगामिना
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
यान्ति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. Anybody? अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं यान्ति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
चेतसानान्यगामिना
चेतसा नान्यगामिना
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
यान्ति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. Anybody else?
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
चेतसा ज्ञानगामिना
चेतसा नान्यगामिना
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody like to read the translation?
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
One more time, Prabhu.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
Purport. Anybody want me to read the purport?
Purport. In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing the sound, vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusam means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the supreme enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the supreme enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansion as Narayana, Vasudeva, etc. The devotee can constantly think of the object of worship the Supreme Lord in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna, Rama, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him, and at the end of his life, due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice is meditation on the super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think of Krishna. One example often given is that of a caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly and so is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Hari Bol.
So many times we see that Krishna is actually talking about do abhyasa. We also see in a chapter 6 where Arjuna is saying Chanchalahi Mana Krishna, where he's saying that Krishna, I cannot control my mind. I can actually control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. There also what Krishna is saying, abhyasa. Continuously do abhyasa, you'll able to train your mind. Then by doing abhyasa, what will happen? You will develop a detachment. And here is also when Arjuna is having a question that how can one remember Krishna time of the death? Here is Krishna is also saying abhyasa. So abhyasa, it is actually very, very important. And why constantly remembering Krishna, what will happen? So when one constantly remember Krishna, then what happened? It's our vision will actually become very clear. Our vision, our heart become very purified, where we will able to make a solid differentiate between what is a good and what is a bad. Getting entanglement into this karma, we need to have a pure vision. Otherwise, we would not able to come out of this karmic reaction. So constantly remembering Krishna, what will happen when the mind become clear, then we will able to make a differentiate. So remembering Krishna, that is one of the biggest benefit we will get. Now, in this particular shloka, there is actually a many way we can remember Krishna. And we are practicing all of this, like getting up early in the morning, doing a Mangala Aarti, cooking bhoga for Krishna. The biggest thing what Prabhupada is actually has actually talked about in this shloka and the previous shloka is a chanting. Chanting, it is extremely important. Why the chanting is important? Because we many times we heard from the Prabhupada that it is only a sublime method to revive our consciousness. Revive our consciousness from what? Revive our consciousness. Yes, we have forgotten our identity, but also fixing a mind into a Krishna. That is basically chanting is training, is giving us a training. But then Prabhupada is also has talked about how the chanting should be done. So talking about ourselves, that we are also getting up early in the morning, and we have to sometime internalize ourselves. We have to introspect within ourselves to see that where is I am making progress into my spiritual life. Chanting, the chanting should give us how the chanting should be done is also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Tranadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Shaishnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhari. So until unless we develop this humanity, this tolerance, we would not be able to chant. So when we are chanting 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, and if we are still doing that mechanical chanting, is that chanting is going to get us anywhere? Is this is the chanting will make us remember Krishna at the time of the death. At Paripurna Prabhu always when Bhagavatam class is, if you're doing a devotional service, always remember what is the purpose of you doing this service. But then what happened? We very often, very casually, we are forgetting the real purpose of it. So the chanting, why we are actually doing the chanting? The chanting should purify us. If we not feeling the taste of the chanting, that is a very high level, is actually when we reach to the very high level, that taste and mellow we should feel. But is this chanting is actually making me a better person? Is this chanting is actually helping me to develop my Krishna consciousness properly? That is the question that we need to ask. Now when we are actually, sailing the boat, and if the boat is not moving forward, what does that mean? There is a defect in our sailing. Then what we need to do? We need to correct our movement. So similarly, when we are chanting, and if we are not able to make any progress, we need to find where I'm lacking. What is actually I am doing wrong, where actually I am not able to chant properly. Right? And then slowly and gradually, when we will able to correct that mistake, then we will able to, that chanting is not become a burden on us. And then very, very important what Prabhupada saying is that what is the chanting, how the chanting should be done. The chanting should be done, it is like the child is actually crying for a mother. So that is the what do you call, the very intense way the chanting should be done. We would not able to come to that stages right away. But we need to train our conscious mind. When we train our conscious mind, then what happens is our subconscious mind will also automatically follow our conscious mind. Giving example, when you are going to a job, you are in a daily routine, or when you are coming back from your work to your home, sometimes this has actually happened to me when I used to live in a 65 Braith Crescent in my old house. Few times when I'm going to No Frills, or when I'm coming, instead of going in a 7 filbert coat, I end up in 65 Braith Crescent in beginning. Because my subconscious mind has trained like that. Okay, you are here, now you are in No Frill, you have to go here. Maybe I'm talking in the phone, or maybe listening to a lecture, and my subconscious mind is actually taking me to the 65 Braith Crescent, because that's how my mind was actually trained. So then what happened is, when we are consciously training our mind, forcefully, the mind, what is the duty of the mind? The moment you will tell mind, you need to do this, then mind wanted to do totally opposite thing. Right? We see the yogis. Why the yogis actually going into the jungle? Why they are, when the mind is saying that, no, you cannot stay into this heat, they're standing into that heat. You cannot stay into that cold, they are standing into a cold. So whatever the mind is saying, they're doing opposite to it. Why? To train the mind, to listen to the mind. So what we have to do is, we have to train our conscious mind to be into the present moment. So giving example, when we are performing a devotional service, if we know the purpose, like what Prabhu is saying all the time, if we know the purpose behind it, when the mind is running, you are actually bringing the mind back. Hey, I am doing this austerity, taking so much of pain, getting up early in the morning, not for you mind to go and fool around. I wanted to perform this austerity properly. I wanted to do my chanting properly. I wanted to do my Mangala Arati properly. So then what happened? If you're training your conscious mind in such a way, then the subconscious mind will automatically follow. It might not follow immediately, but then it will just become your habit. Just like going 65 Braith Crescent was actually my habit. Oh, that I'm doing it for 14 years. Now I moved to the filbert coat. Now my subconscious mind doesn't know this already. So now I have to train my subconscious mind to go to the 7 filbert coat. So similarly, in the beginning of the stage, like when we getting up in the morning, the mind does not want it to get up. The mind will say, oh, it is only 4 o'clock, give me 15 more minutes. And then, sometimes that 15 more minutes turn into half an hour more. And then even when we are chanting, 4 o'clock in the morning, so many things are coming into our brain. Doesn't matter. With Prabhupada and all our acharyas, they're saying it's chanting in the morning is the best. But sometimes myself, I even find even 4 o'clock chanting is very difficult for me. Because so many thoughts are coming into the mind. I'm thinking, imagine if I had to do that chanting during the day, what will happen? That chanting will be 100% polluted chanting. At least early in the morning, in a Brahmamruta, at least, getting up in the morning where there is nobody around, maybe little bit of sincerity is there. But in the daytime, for me, that sincerity is not there at all. So we have to train our mind. So what Prabhupada is saying, that chanting is our 3 senses actually getting involved. So one is very, very difficult is our mind. And how to control the mind? We have to chant loudly. When we are chanting loudly, sometimes I feel that when I'm like a mumbling, I am actually missing Hare, or I'm missing Krishna, or I'm missing Ram. But if the same chanting, if I'm doing loudly and hearing, then I know where I'm actually making mistake. So see, what happen is, when we are actually chanting the Harinam, it is actually Krishna is actually, when we are chanting in a very pure manner, the Krishna is actually dancing in our tongue, and that is actually purifying our heart. When the purification is actually happening, then the chanting is also actually happening properly. But to recognize that, oh, my chanting is actually not happening properly, or my devotional service is actually not happening, how I can make an improvement? That is actually, we have to figure it out ourselves. Nobody will actually come and say, this is how Nina Mataji you are chanting, or this is how you Ramesh Pandey Prabhu you are chanting. That's something you have to figure it out, where I am actually making mistake. Because chanting, it's like you've seen a three purport. Prabhupada is continuously saying, to remembering Krishna, it is the best way is start from the chanting. Chanting and hearing, chanting and hearing, chanting and hearing. Then the slowly and gradually the heart is actually getting purified. We'll able to understand Bhagavad Gita. We will actually able to understand Bhagavatam, if our chanting is actually sincerely. So again and again, the chanting is a very, very important. So we need to figure it out where we are actually lacking into our chanting, and we need to correct that. And you know, what happen is, when we chant properly, then you also say that, you know, if you start your day with chanting, or you start your day with the kirtan, or if you start your day with the, sometime I really like when Paripurna Prabhu is there in a Bhagavatam class, because I feel after what Prabhu has talked, my whole day, my mind is actually contemplating on what is actually Prabhu has talked about it, what we have read in the Bhagavad Gita, what we have, and then my mind is actually trying to connect. Oh, this is what we read in the Bhagavad Gita, this is what we read in Bhagavatam, and what Prabhu is actually saying is actually making sense. And why Prabhu has said say this, is if this is not making sense to me, then my whole day is, I am basically thinking about it. So see, our day, if we set up our day in such a way that, you know, so many times it says that, you know, what we start in the beginning of the day, the whole day is just like a fall through. So if we start our days with the remembering Krishna, then what happen? It is automatically that will become our, slowly and gradually become our nature. Then if we start with the chanting, then our whole day, back of our mind, we are constantly chanting. If something that we are reading a shloka or practicing shloka, back of our head, we are continuously chanting the shloka. So that is a very, very good way to remembering Krishna. Remembering Krishna is by chanting, by performing the devotional service. So that is the one way to remember Krishna. But then there is a many other way. There is a, you know, some people say that, okay, I cannot meditate upon Krishna, or I cannot remember Krishna. The Prabhupada has very clearly said, you can take any form of a Krishna. You know, some Prabhupada says you can take the form of a Narayana, any expansion of Krishna, and you can meditate upon it. But you know, then the nature of a devotee, like if we see it, and after even showing the Virata Swarupa to Arjuna, what was the desire of Arjuna? That, you know, the devotee of the Lord is always into that, wanted to have that loving exchange and the loving connection with the Krishna. So they don't want to see Krishna in the Virata Swarupa, or they don't want to see Krishna in Narayana Swarupa. They wanted to build the relationship with the Krishna. So they always wanted to meditate upon Krishna in this Tribhanga Swarupa. So that is the one way that, you know, the devotee like to meditate upon Krishna, that Swarupa. And then chanting, it is also what we are basically doing, you know. Sometimes what happen is, we are, in a way we are chanting, and what we are basically saying, asking, oh Srimati Radharani, oh internal potency of Krishna, please engage me into the service of Krishna. But then when service is actually coming into our way, and then you know what, sometime, that is what Arumal Prabhu was one time, we were talking, and Arumal Prabhu was actually telling me, that Mataji, when the service is actually coming into our way, we are begging Krishna, Radharani, to give us the service. But when we actually get the service, we don't take that service. We will basically make 100 excuses to not to do the service. So then early morning, you're begging, oh Krishna, please give me service. But then the service coming into your way, we're not actually taking the service. So that is very, very nice point, Prabhu, that one day we will talk about and is actually basically stuck into my brain. So this is the we have to also train our mind in a consciousness in a such a way that, again, if I am chanting and if I am asking Krishna for services, if I am getting the services, then I should do the services, right? That should be our consciousness also, because that is also another way to remembering Krishna. Now, remembering Krishna, it is very, very difficult. And Parikshit Maharaj, we are also reading in Srimad Bhagavatam. Currently, we were, I think today morning, Prabhu, you missed wonderful session today morning. So today morning is, I think, chapter 19. Chapter 19, and I think shloka number 24, where Parikshit Maharaj is actually asked two questions to Brahmana. And I think I note down those two questions when I was reading. And it says that, the Parikshit Maharaj asked that what is a duty of everyone in all circumstances. So we all have different circumstances in our life, but what is a duty? Now think about a Parikshit Maharaj and think about ourselves. Does it is that easy to remember Krishna at the time of a death if somebody has not practiced Krishna conscious properly? Material people, take the material people who's actually leaving their body, they leave the biggest challenges and stumbling block what they are facing when they are leaving their body is a fear. Fear of what? Fear of losing this body, fear of losing their wealth, fear of losing their loved ones. But then look at the great devotees like Parikshit Maharaj. The Parikshit Maharaj, the moment he come across to know that, okay, I'm dying in a 7 month, instant detachment. 7 days. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. 7 days, instant detachment. It is actually come. Within a second, renounce from all the activities. Now think about it. We're not even in that stage. But if we come across to know that, oh, I have only 7 days to live. 7 days I'm going to die. What is our brain is actually going to prepare? Have I created my will? Is this money is going to belong to whom? After I leave, what is going to happen? What will happen to my house? So many questions like that actually come into our head. And we see like so many even Prabhupada disciple who has actually practiced this Krishna conscious properly. And when there is actually time for them to leave the body, or even if they come across to know, I'm in the last stages of cancer, or I can die anytime. They're not regretting that moment at all. They are very joyfully actually accepting that moment. And we see, I forgot this Mataji name, that this Mataji, somebody who's practicing Krishna conscious properly, even though that develop Alzheimer at the last moment, that what is Alzheimer, like we basically forget everything. So this Mataji, she's forgetting that I have finished my 16 round of chanting and going back and chanting again. Oh, I did not chant my 16 round, I'm chanting again my 16 round. So this is how since you have trained your mind in such a way, your mind is, even though that bodily limitation is there, the bodily limitation is there where you're not able to remember anything. But then what happened? The Paramatma within your heart is actually giving you intelligence. Right? But if you have not practiced throughout your life, and if you're thinking, and just in a moment I will remember Krishna, that is actually not possible. Because it's saying that when we are actually leaving our body, within 8 minutes, we will able to see our whole life in a fast forward. And it's saying that in that 8 minutes, if you have performed any devotional service, it will pause there. If you have pulled the Rath in a Jagannath Rath Yatra, it will stop there. If you have attained any Kirtan, it will stop there. If you've done any devotional service, it is actually stopped there. Then imagine, if it stopped there, and if you are in that consciousness leaving your body, then what happened? Then definitely your destination is in a better place. But then if you have not practiced anything throughout your life, what you have done, it is just a material thing. Then what will come? What will come into your final destination? what is in that 8 minutes actually running? It is just all your material activity. And that material activity is running and you are leaving your body, then what happened? Where is your destination is going to be? It is all depends based on the karma what you have done. Right? So one time there is somebody asked this question to Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada, you are wasting your life. This human life, you're gonna get it only once. Such a great enjoyment that you can have, but look at how much sacrifice you are doing. And at the end of the moment, if you remember there is no Krishna, what you'll do? And Prabhupada says, you know what? If you're thinking that we are not enjoying our life, but we are not having a fasting, even in fasting we are doing feasting. Every other day we have a Chapan Bhoga. So we're not actually missing anything. But at the end of the moment, let me turn this table and ask this question to you. If you remember, if you know that there is a Krishna, what will you do? The whole life you did not remember him. The whole life you just live a material life. The human, what is the purpose of the human life? The purpose of the human life to do a needful things for our spirituality. And we need to ask this question to ourselves, that am I doing that needful spiritual activity to elevate myself? Right? And if I'm not doing it, then we need to correct ourselves and start making this progress into our spiritual life. And if we're not doing it, then we are wasting the human birth again. So that's what is a very, very important, the abhyasa. See, if you wanted to be athletic, or if you wanted to be a doctor, or if you wanted to be trained in any material life, what we do? We train ourselves. Even in to get something and achieve something in our material life, we have to train. So here we are actually practicing something to come out from this birth and death cycle. It is a very, very easy sometime to take this also the spirituality for granted, because we think this is our second priority, or this is our last priority. Sometimes the kids wanted to perform the devotional service, or somebody wanted to perform the devotional service. Sometimes they've been stopped by their parents, grandparents, or whoever. This is not a time for you to do the devotional service. You do the devotional service when you are actually becoming old. Now when you are actually becoming old, how are you going to remember Krishna? You're not even able to remember what you have done in your done yesterday. So then how can you remember how you can actually remember Krishna? So that's why the Prahlad Maharaj said, we have to practice this Krishna conscious, remembering Krishna from the very early age. Very early age, if you practice when we are in a proper consciousness, then what happens? When we are even getting old, that is become our second nature. But if we have not practiced, then it is not going to be possible to remember Krishna. So then what happened is, we need to take our spirituality sincerely. And making the spirituality sincerely, we have to also not just taking it for granted and say, yes, I'm doing this chanting, or yes, I'm doing this devotional service, yes, I'm doing this service, I'm doing that service. But by doing this service, how much I am actually remembering Krishna? See, when we are actually in our material life, when we are actually studying properly, when you are preparing for your exam, how are you studying properly? You are taking this book properly, you are actually making the notes, you are preparing the cue card, then you are also preparing getting some kind of the practice test to see that whether you are actually prepared for your exam or not. So we need to do that introspect and see ourselves that I am practicing this Krishna conscious, and tomorrow if the time for me to leave the body is, am I ready? If the Krishna come tomorrow and say this, okay, let's go, am I ready? Am I ready to go with Krishna? Or tomorrow if I diagnose with something and saying that, oh, this is your last moment and you can leave your body anytime, am I ready to leave this body? Am I ready to give up my attachment? So this is the thing that we need to, and if we are still holding into the things, we are still holding to the attachment, we are still not, becoming gentle, not becoming, anger free, the 6 anarthas what we have, that means there is so much thing to work on it. and so much things to work on it, but then we need to start with somewhere. We need to identify the defect what we are having in this very birth and this very moment. That okay, this is the defect what I have, and how can I improve in this defect? So then next birth, if I will get, I will start with not with one anartha. The one anarthas I have practiced, then Krishna will give me an opportunity. I have a 5 more anarthas to go. We would not able to come out of these anarthas and what we have in a very first birth. But we need to sincerely try in this birth. Sincerely remembering Krishna, because we see that again and again we are hearing in the Shastra, again and again we are hearing from the Bhagavad Gita, again and again the Prabhupada is actually speaking. What is the remembering Shastra will do? The remembering Shastra will purify our heart. But purification of the heart is only happening when we are taking what we are doing seriously. If we not taking what we are doing seriously, and then we are just continuously creating, making offenses, or not able to see within ourselves what we are actually doing wrong, then there is no point of doing it. Soon we will actually lose the taste of our spirituality. Think about it, when we actually came into the Krishna conscious. The first day when we actually entered into the Krishna conscious, we were actually really enjoying that moment of Krishna conscious. We were enjoying the chanting, we were enjoying the devotee association, we were really enjoying the prasadam. But then slowly and gradually, the same process is actually becoming burden on us. Why we not able to relish the same mallow what we actually able to relish in our first day? That question we need to ask. And and it very nicely, I was listening to one of the lecture where one of the Mataji was actually explaining that why we not actually feeling the same taste and same mallow after 5 years, other way around. When we are actually practicing this Krishna conscious more and more, this should be relished more and more. But then the path is actually becoming difficult and difficult. Why? Because he's saying that, Mataji very nicely actually explaining that when you open up a new sari store, you wanted to attract people, right? You wanted to attract people, and then you give a discount. Oh, 80% discount, 50% discount, 60% discount. But then when you become the regular customer, will they give you discount? They won't give you discount, because now they know you are hooked onto it. So the Krishna is, he's attracting the soul to him. Now he knows the soul is actually becoming serious. Now the soul is seriously actually trying. So the Krishna is making the path is very harder for us. So we need to try really hard. So if we are feeling that, oh, I cannot get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, we need to push ourselves. Oh, I don't feel today going to the temple, we need to force ourselves. Because that is what Krishna wanted to see, that, okay, initial stage, I have give you that booster, but how much you are actually trying from yourself. Right? And if we not trying from ourselves, then what Krishna will do? Krishna will never interfere in anybody's free will. What Krishna is saying? That I give everybody freedom, do whatever you want. Krishna is a Supreme Father, give you a platform to chant. Krishna is a Supreme Father, he really wanted to come home, so he's giving you a platform to the association of the devotee. He's really giving you an opportunity to eat the prasadam. But then it is up to us how seriously we are taking. But if we are still continuously, taking this process in a granted and not taking this process seriously, because the reason sometimes we're not taking this process seriously because we don't even feel the urgency. Parikshit Maharaj is a 7 days, and the 7 days Parikshit Maharaj knows that in 7 days I'm going to leave my body. Parikshit Maharaj was lucky, he knew that he has only 7 days. Do we know when are we actually going to leave our body? We don't even know. So we never see the urgency in our life. But then we have to also think that, that we don't know when we are actually going to leave our body. We can leave our body today, we can leave our body tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or 50 years from now. Am I ready? Am I ready to remember Krishna? If the death coming tomorrow, am I going to remember Krishna? And if we're not practicing properly, then there is no way we will remember Krishna. And this is the where we have to actually train our consciousness. We have to constantly asking this question to ourselves when we are actually chanting, when we are actually doing our devotional service. If this process I'm doing, is this process actually benefiting me? If this process is actually not benefiting me, But then previous acharyas are saying that, you know what, by doing the devotional service you will get the great pleasure. Why I am not gaining that pleasure? What am I doing wrong? And if we will just let it loose, then it will remain loose. So we need to basically identify that if the acharya is saying, that means chanting of the holy name has a power to release such a mallows. I am not able to release this mallows, and I'm not expecting to release this mallow in this birth, but at least let me try sincerely. Doing my devotional service to Krishna sincerely. Do whatever I'm doing for Krishna, serving devotee, let me do that sincerely. And that sincerity, it is, trust me, is going to be noticed by Krishna. Krishna is noticing that service, that service and that sincerity. Because we can cheat anybody. We can cheat even ourselves, we cannot cheat Krishna. Because before we are actually thinking and before even what we are saying is within he's in heart of us as a Paramatma, he knows exactly what is Vilbala auntie is thinking. Now what is Monica Mataji is actually going to speak. What is am I going to speak? He knows. So we can cheat anybody, but we cannot cheat Krishna. So when we show that sincerity towards our chanting, towards our devotional service, then Krishna will actually going to help. But if we see that, oh, we are losing, we are giving loose, so what if I don't get up early today? So what, I am not able to do this today? Well, Krishna, sometime once in a while, if we basically slack, Krishna will actually know, okay, 1 o'clock, this devotee is actually was performing devotional service. Tired, let him lose a little bit. But when we come into the actually stage, but if we train our conscious and subconscious mind in such a way, it doesn't matter if you get up 2 o'clock, sleep 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, your subconscious mind will wake you up. 4 o'clock, get up, chanting time. Get up, this is your time for you to devotional service. This is your time to do Mangala Aarti. This is your time for you to do these things. So who's waking you up that time? Who's giving you that intelligence that time? Is a Paramatma is actually helping us. And he is sincerely want us to do. Otherwise, how come you don't get up at 10 o'clock at night? Or how come you don't get up 2 o'clock in the morning and say get up and do chanting? Why your mind is automatically, your eyes is actually opening 4 o'clock in the morning and says get up and chant? This is a time for you to chant. So Krishna is actually helping. Krishna is really, he's a supreme father, just like a Putana is a Bhavagrahi Janardana. Even though no matter how much contaminated chanting we are doing, no matter how much contaminated devotional service is doing, but he is, as a true father, true friend, is always holding our hand. He's always is basically giving us an intelligence. Please don't leave from the devotional service. Please don't leave from chanting. Please don't give up your spiritual life. But it is we have to decide, and we have to see that how much our sincere endeavor has to come within us. If we're not showing the sincerity, if we're not having that sincere endeavor within ourselves, then no matter how much that Krishna is actually giving the indication, we would not be able to recognize. But then here is very nicely is, the Prabhupada is actually saying the mind is, in the very last paragraph of Prabhupada is saying that, where is it? Give me 1 second. So in a yoga practice, see the yogis actually leaving their home and practicing the meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a bhakti yogi. What we do? What is our form of a meditation? The meditation on the chanting of the Harinam, that is our meditation. Then chanting the Harinam all the time, that what is our consciousness has become. This, and then very last the very last paragraph that Prabhupada is actually explaining that this caterpillar is always in a fear of, oh, I'm going to lose my life, I'm going to lose my life, I'm going to lose my life, and turn into a butterfly. Is very what do you call, the negative example is turned into a very positive way. So similarly, we are also a practitioner, we are also practicing Krishna conscious. If we train our conscious mind properly, if we practice our Krishna conscious properly, then what happens? We will also at the end will able to our true nature. And what is our true nature? Our true nature, it is not this anger. Our true nature is not this pride. Our true nature, it is not this six anartha what we talk about. Our true nature is a Satchit and Ananda. So when we gain that transcendental nature, then only we will able to transfer into spiritualis with our spiritual world. So remembering Krishna, this is the in a particular shloka that Prabhupada and Krishna is actually emphasizing that, you know, remember Krishna all the time. Remember Krishna in a different way, performing a devotional service. The most important method is the chanting, because somebody will say, I don't know how to do arti, I don't know how to do offering, I don't know how to clean the Krishna's temple. Only very simple method in the age of Kali Yuga, what he's saying is chanting the Harinam. Chanting the Harinam, even though that we are saying is a simple, it is not simple. It is a very difficult. Why it is a difficult? Because mind is not trained. See, what is actually preventing us between us and Krishna, it is our mind. If our mind is actually been trained, then the biggest stumbling block of our life is removed. When the mind, see, we also did one of the drama in Me and My Mind. So the mind is the beginning, give us such a trouble to anybody who is practicing, even in your material life or spiritual life. So then what we have to do? Continuously bring the mind back. The mind will say, I don't want it to do this, you will bring the mind back. I don't want it to chanting, you will bring the mind back. The thought is going when we are actually chanting, you will bring the mind back. Oh, no, I should hear what I'm chanting. When I'm doing arti, oh, but I put the thing in my pot, and you know what, I still have to make the breakfast for Krishna. No, my focus right now, I am doing arti. My focus should be arti. So the mind will go all over the places, but then very cautiously, we have to bring our mind back to present moment. The mind does not want it to stay in the present moment, especially when we are performing the devotional service. But if we are attentively and very cautiously, if we are bringing the mind, then the mind will start listening to us. In the beginning, it will be very difficult, very difficult, because we are doing this from the time and memorial, right? That mind is all over the places from the time and memorial. Now, in this particular birth, that you are actually taking the mind seriously, and you realize that the real misery in this material world is untrained mind. And to train the mind, how can you train the mind? Very cautiously, remembering Krishna. Remembering Krishna, it is very in an initial state, it is a very difficult to remember Krishna 24/7. But if we put it in the practice, we have to develop such a consciousness. Think about it. If you fall in love with somebody, does anybody need to come and say, think about that person? No. That automatically come into your brain, and 24 hours you're thinking about it. So that love should be developed for Krishna. That once that love has been developed for Krishna, then nobody need to come and tell you, remember Krishna. You 24 hours, you're constantly thinking about Krishna. So that's how we have to train about it. But because we have not developed that love for Krishna, it is difficult for us. But how can we develop love for Krishna? By hearing the Shastra. The Shastra Bhagavatam is basically talking about how the beautiful the Krishna is actually looking. The beautiful pastime of Krishna. When we constantly hearing about that, then we will develop a love for Krishna. Right? And then once that love developed for Krishna, then nobody need to come and say, remember Krishna. That will actually happening automatically. And when that happening automatically, then what happened? Doesn't matter whether you are in this body or no matter you are in a whatever the condition of your life. Maybe you are in a pain, you are in a suffering, you are in a happy condition, you are in a cold, you are in a summer, whatever the condition of the life, you are constantly able to remember Krishna. Because then you are start seeing Krishna everywhere. Like giving example of a Bilva Mangala Thakur. When Bilva Mangala Thakur fall in love with this prostitute, did he saw that, okay, this is the river is over flooded, and today I cannot go and see because it is not possible. He was actually holding this the dead body and to go to Chintamani's home to see this prostitute, because he was so much in love with that prostitute that he did not even care. Even the boatman says there is no way I can actually take you. You know, and then Chintamani says this water is so, the river is so overflooded. How do you even come? It's like, oh, I get a hold of the dead body and I cross the river. Yeah, but my door and everything was closed. How do you come up? Oh, I get a hold of the snake, the dead body of the snake, and I climb. So see, look at the mind. Because he's in for so much of a love of a Chintamani, he did not even care of any of this thing. And what did the Chintamani says? The Chintamani says, you did so much of nonsense activity for what? This body that made out of this flesh, blood, and things. You are so after this this body. Instead of this body, why? If you would have think about Krishna, your life would be perfect. That is the where his eyes actually got open. And this is that is the material way to remembering this Chintamani. That is just another way to just put it into the place that when we love Krishna, that is how our consciousness should be. That no matter, you know, whether I get up 2 o'clock or whether I get up 3 o'clock, but it's constantly the mind should be chanting of Krishna. And we see the Haridas Thakur. Why the Haridas Thakur was actually able to chant this many name of Krishna? Why? Because they were relishing such a mellow that, you know, the pleasure that they were getting out of the chanting of the Harina, we have not developed, and we will never able to develop the way if we are going. If we are chanting the way we are chanting right now, the Vishnu Tattva Prabhu always used to tell me that before you chant, always read the 10 offenses and say the Sishtashaka front of Tulsi Maharani and start chanting. And I was doing in the initial stage, and slowly and gradually that came out of my practice. And I see that when you are actually chanting the 10 offenses, and Sishtashaka, I usually say it after the Tulsi Maharani prayers, but that is also very mechanical way. Not actually understanding and not actually hearing the 8 verses what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually spoke about it. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who's the Lord himself, is actually basically saying, imagine if the Lord himself is basically saying that when I am actually going to have this Nayanam Galadashru Darya Vadanam Gadgadarudragira, when I am going to have this feeling when I'm chanting your name, Krishna, when this is actually going to happen to me, think about ourselves. Think about ourselves. So that is always we need to, when we are actually chanting, say the 10 offenses. The 10 offenses, if you don't know, we can put it in a members group. The chanting the Sishtashaka, the 8 verses of this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all should by heart. That is that 8 shloka of the Sishtashaka is basically talking about that how we should actually live our life. Again, practicing devotional service will make you humble. The practicing devotional service will make you more tolerant. But if we're not becoming humble, we're not becoming tolerant, then there is a lacking in our service. So we can see that what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, until unless you become humble, until unless you become tolerant, you would not be able to chant the Hari name. And then constantly hearing, then what happened? Constantly practicing, then our subconscious mind is getting trained. Oh, I am doing chanting, but I am not humble. Oh, I am chanting, but I am not tolerant. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that until unless you do this, you can't even chant. That is the defect in my chanting. When we are reading the 10 offenses, cautiously, hearing what is actually 10 offenses actually doing, then our mind will also getting trained. Again, I am doing all of this aparadha. That is the reason I am not able to feel my chanting is effective. So find that fault where we are actually lacking, and we need to make a correction. If we don't make a correction and just do the chanting as a mechanical chanting, then it is not. Of course, again, Krishna is a Bhavagrahi Janardana, give you chance in a next birth. But that means you just wasted this human birth. And when you're coming back in this age of a Kali Yuga, you don't know how fast this Kali Yuga has been progressing and where you end up in. You don't even know that based on your karma, you might go into the heavenly planet. By the time you come back, 10,000 of the golden period of Kali Yuga is gone. So we don't know where we will end up. So that's why the Prabhupada is always say that, you know what, take this human birth very seriously. and take this human birth seriously, take this chanting seriously, and when we take this chanting seriously, that is the only way. Prabhupada, why the Prabhupada did not say, oh, do the arati properly, and that's why you remember Krishna. Or do this devotional service, and then you remember Krishna. Prabhupada says again and again, it's chanting. Because chanting is the only sublime method to revive our consciousness. So that's how we can remember Krishna. So, is 5 minutes. Please forgive me if I have created any offense or if I have said any harsh word or anything. But it's very important that we realize within ourselves. I myself have so many defects. I need to correct myself, and that is I have to see myself what I'm doing wrong. And something that when we are doing chanting or any devotional service, we need to figure it out where I'm doing, because it's spirituality. It should give you bliss. The spiritualities give you peaceful mind. If you are not gaining that peaceful mind, that means there's something wrong. And what is wrong? We need to figure it out. That is, we need to do it. Where I'm lacking in my chanting, where I'm lacking in this, and correct ourselves. By correcting in this birth only, Krishna will see our little bit of sincerity, and maybe in our next birth we can become a better human. So we will end here. 5 minutes to question or comment. If there is no question, then I have a question. Ramesh Pandey Prabhu, you're sitting front. See you again.
So should I ask a question then to see?
So Prabhu, here in saying, Krishna is saying that through abhyasa you can remember Krishna. What is your abhyasa to remember Krishna?
Yeah, there's so many different things I'm practicing or trying to practice. Well, you were giving a lecture and I was thinking, where am I with reference to all that you're suggesting? So to answer your specific question, of course, chanting is something definitely I'm struggling with. It's not that I had been doing chanting and I was really enjoying at one point in time, and now I'm not, because I have not yet reached that stage where I could claim that yes, I have been chanting 16 rounds. So that is one area which definitely I need to do a lot of work. But on the other hand, when it comes to service, I really been relishing that. I've been relishing it to the fullest. For example, coming here to the temple, participating in kirtans from time to time, and participating in preparing prasadam at Monika Mataji's house, which we have been doing for last 2-3 weekends, and serving here. Those are the areas definitely I think is giving us joy, and same for Rupi Mataji as well. So I hope that answers your question.
It does, Prabhu, but see, constantly remembering of Krishna, 24 hours remembering of Krishna. You do service in the temple. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Can I share?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I know we all say we chant in the morning, we read Bhagavatam, that's how we remember Krishna. We do devotional service, we offer prasadam. But again, I was constantly thinking, like, I do this in the morning, but when my day goes by, I'm not thinking of Krishna, right? So then Radha Govind Hari Prabhu told me, like, whatever you do, even like your material duties, put Krishna in the center. So when you're actually doing any activity, see how I can devote this activity to Krishna. That is the way I'm trying to remember Krishna throughout the day.
Right. That's your abhyasa.
That's my abhyasa. Yeah. Whatever I do, I devote it to Krishna, keep Krishna in the center, and that's how I remember him all day.
That's very nice, Mataji. That is how we should always, like, that is what he is saying to Krishna, Arjuna, right? Mam anusmaran yuddhacha. Think about me and do the duty.
Yes.
Fighting, it is a very, if you think about it, it's a very cruel activity. And think about it, especially in a battlefield of Kurukshetra. Right? And if he is telling at that time to remember Krishna is telling to Arjuna, remember me. How difficult for Arjuna to remember Krishna. We are also fighting a battle every single day, going to the work and doing all the our housework and everything, that is also another battle, but our battle is very small compared to Arjuna. Very, very tiny. So in that small battle, we need to put Krishna in the center.
Center, yes.
So that is the, yeah, it is a very nice thing. Anybody wanted to share? We have a 1 more minute and then we will conclude our class. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So I heard that from one guru saying that every 6 minutes you should remember Krishna. So that's why I'm practicing. Like, so I'm forcing myself. Like, it's been long time. Like, I didn't remember him, right? So that's how I'm trying to be in that
Practicing?
practicing.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you. So it's 6:30 and we will conclude our class here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity and forgive me if any offenses from my side. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.